am a financially disadvantaged student sponsored by the Xia family. At 22, she married Xia Yan because she was pregnant. Xia Yan is notoriously obsessive about cleanliness, use serving chopsticks when eating, and no kissing in bed. He even finds the cup I drank from too dirty for his liking, but at a party, I saw with my own eyes how he drank from the glass his first love had used. Just to shield her from having to drink. I know our marriage is over. 01. In the end, I had to help Xia Yan. Through the door, he had drunk too much on behalf of Shinshuan and was now barely coherent. Before leaving, Shinshuan looked at me with a guilty expression and said, "I'm so sorry, Miss Su, it's all my fault for making Brother Yan drink so much. The main thing is, I got drunk once before and almost kissed another guy. After that, Yenga forbade me from drinking too much." The woman's hand kept stroking Xia Yan's chest. "He also reminded me not to forget to make him honey water when I got back. I think, if it were someone else, I'm afraid I would have slapped them across the face long ago, but I simply took Xia Yan from them calmly, without saying a word. It's not that I'm patient, I just know I don't have the right." In the end, I still poured Xia Yan a glass of plain boiled water even while drunk. The man still instinctively asked as he took the glass of water, "Whose cup is this?" "Yours," I spoke calmly. Only then did he feel at ease and drink it down. I knew from the very beginning that Xia Yan had a thing about cleanliness. Shortly after we got married, he once had a sudden stomachache and was looking for medicine. In a hurry, I just grabbed my own cup, filled it with water, and handed it to him. Upon hearing this, Xia Yan flew into a rage and smashed the cup. "Haven't I told you I don't use other people's cups?" That was the first time I had ever seen Xia Yan so furious, and I was so scared that I just stood there, not daring to say a word. Seeing me like this, the man's tone unconsciously softened. "It's not your fault, I'm just not used to using other people's things, just be more careful next time." But inside the private room, he used Shinshuan's things so naturally. It turns out he wasn't uncomfortable using other people's things, he just only used Shinshuan's. This realization made my nose tingle with emotion. I am not unaware of Shinshuan's existence, it's just that she had been abroad before, and Xia Yan never brought her up on his own, always maintaining a polite yet distant demeanor with everyone. I felt that I could get by with this kind of life, but now, I've seen with my own eyes what it's like when you love someone. All the grievances I once thought I didn't care about came flooding back all at once. It nearly drowned me. I suddenly felt so tired. Perhaps I don't have to put up with this either. Perhaps leaving is for the best for both of us. 02. After helping Xia Yan back to his room, I went back to my own room to wash up. We usually sleep in separate rooms. Xia Yan only comes on the 1st and 15th of each lunar month, under the guise of fulfilling marital duties, but every time he gets drunk, he acts like a child, throwing a tantrum to sleep with me, and once he holds on, he won't let go. Just like this. I have no idea how Xia Yan got in. I had just lain down on the bed when a pair of large hands suddenly wrapped around me. By the time I realized what was happening, Xia Yan had already pulled me tightly into his arms. The man smiled contentedly and fell asleep. In the past, even if I didn't like the taste of alcohol, I would have convinced myself to just let it go and fall asleep anyway. After all, the Xia family's kindness to me is too great to repay. But today, I refuse to hold back. I struggled to break free from Xia Yan's embrace. Since he likes it here, I'll just sleep in another room anyway. The Xia family has plenty of rooms, but as soon as I stepped out, I saw Xia Jian standing right at the door, looking anxiously into the room. Seemingly worried about Xia Yan, I smiled, crouched down, and patted his head, and in, "Why aren't you asleep yet? Don't you have kindergarten tomorrow? Go to bed now." Xia Jian brushed my hand away, glaring at me with the same look of disgust in his eyes as Xia Yan. "Su Tang, you have no right to tell me what to do." "That's right, it's Su Tang, not Mom." Ever since being called a bastard by outsiders, after learning that I only had the chance to marry into the Xia family because I was pregnant with his child, Xia Jian came to hate me. He forgot how I stayed up all night watching over him when he was sick. I've also forgotten how he used to curl up in my arms, acting coy and saying he loved me the most. His greatest wish now is that I weren't his mother. Watching the child's back as he ran into his room, I let out a soft sigh and got up to head to the guest room across the hall. After closing the door, I called my former boss. Sister Wen, I've made up my mind. I'm willing to go to Paris with you." 03. Sister Wen was taken aback for a moment, then her tone turned delighted. "Really? That's great, Tang. Then get your visa sorted this month, and once I wrap up what I'm working on, we'll set off." I studied fashion design in college and previously worked under Sister Wen. After getting married, I still took on occasional freelance work, providing design drafts for Sister Wen's company. She's been planning to move her team to a foreign company recently. I just wish I could go. With her too, at first, I was a bit hesitant. After all, for someone like me who has been an orphan since childhood, home has always been an important presence. I also don't want my child to lose their mother's companionship at such a young age, but as it turns out now, Seajian doesn't want a mother like me. I also came to understand that the definition of home has never been about the number of people. Sometimes you can be a home to yourself. After finishing the phone call, I pulled out a file from my favorites. It was the divorce agreement that Xiayan's mother sent me 4 years ago. 04 The next day, the moment I opened my door, I ran into Xiayan, who was also stepping out of his room. The man looked exhausted, his eyes asking me why he was in my room. I blurted out without a second thought, "Yesterday, you came into my room on your own, hugged me and wouldn't let go. I had no choice but to give you the room." At these words, Xiayan's face rarely showed embarrassment, and he cleared his throat softly. "Sorry, it won't happen again." I nodded, not looking at him again. I turned around and went downstairs to make breakfast with Auntie. Xiayan was stunned. I used to blush a little whenever I talked about these things. Now he looks completely calm, even a bit impatient. This change made Xiayan stand still and stare at me for a long time. During the meal, I mentioned that I had something to do today. There's no way to take Xiajian to school, and no time to bring Xiayan lunch. Let them sort it out themselves. Where are you going? Father and son spoke almost at the same time. 2 pairs of eyes stared straight at me. I didn't expect them to suddenly care about my whereabouts, so I was a bit surprised. It's been a long time since I've been back to the old house. I'm going to visit Mom. Xiayan's brow relaxed, and he seemed to curl the corner of his mouth. Wait for me to get off work tonight. I'll go with you. I shook my head. No need, I can go by myself. Xiayan's eyes narrowed slightly, and he glanced up at me again. Saying nothing more, just as I was stepping out, she suddenly spoke up. "I hope there won't be any unpleasant rumors after you go back." I paused for a moment, then smiled knowingly. So he wanted to go back to the old house with me, not out of concern, but because he was afraid I would go and tattle. Xiayan is overthinking it. His scandal with Shinshiwan has been all over the place lately. Why would I need to tattle? Xia Jian stood at the stairway entrance for a long time, his gaze fixed on me. I don't know if it's just my imagination, but I actually sensed a hint of anger and grievance in it. Finally, Xia Jian let out a cold snort and followed Uncle Chen out. I shook my head with a wry smile, realizing I really hadn't rested well yesterday. Xia Jian can't stand me enough. Why would he get mad just because I didn't see him off? Upon arriving at the old house and seeing Xia's mother, my first words were, "I want a divorce." 05. I was adopted by the Xia family from the orphanage. That year, Xia Yan's father, along with his grandparents, all died in the same accident. The fortune teller said the Xia family should adopt a child to accumulate blessings and ward off misfortune. Otherwise, even Xia Yan, the last of his line, wouldn't be spared. Later, Xia's mother chose me, give me living expenses to support my college education. I have always been deeply grateful to them. It wasn't until a banquet that Xia Yan was accidentally drugged by an admirer I happened to pass by, and so, we had a night together. Afterwards, everyone thought I was the one who put the drug in. They say the Xia family raised an ungrateful wretch. Xia Yan knew the truth all along, yet never said a single word to defend me. Later, I found out I was pregnant. Xia's mother again begged me to carry the child to term. At that time, Xia Yan had already been broken up with Shinshiwan for a year and had been refusing to get married. Everyone says he hasn't moved on from Shinshiwan. Xia's mother could only place her hopes on me. She said that as long as she gives birth to a child, she is ready to get a divorce at any time. Thinking of the Xia family's kindness to me over the years, and seeing the pleading look on Mrs. Xia's face, I agreed. After giving birth to Xia Jian, I couldn't bear to part with the child. I can only console myself that these days are much better than the times when I was hungry and cold. I overestimated my tolerance for a loveless marriage. Xia's mother kept her promise and did not make things difficult for me. He didn't say anything to try to keep me or to insult me. I just had the lawyer come over and walk me through every clause of the divorce agreement, more like a mother than a mother-in-law. I never expected that getting a divorce would suddenly make me a rich woman. As she was about to leave, Xia's mother suddenly spoke up. "Tang Tang, thank you." My eyes reddened. Come to think of it, Xia's mother has always been very kind to me, whether it's the care shown from childhood to adulthood, or the deliberate distance kept after marriage to give us plenty of personal space. These are all things that many mothers-in-law fail to do. 06 When I got home, I received a call from Xia Yan's secretary. It means Xia Yan simply skipped lunch because I didn't bring it. He was worried that Xia Yan might have a stomachache in the afternoon, so he asked me if I had time now to make something simple and send it over. I instinctively prepared to refuse, but then I thought of Xia's mother. After a Moment's hesitation, I agreed. I had just arrived at Xiayan's office door when I overheard him talking with his brother inside. I heard you've been getting pretty close with Xuan lately. Xiayan paused mid-motion as he reached for the pen, then looked up at him. Stop reading gossip. If you keep talking nonsense, I won't mind having your old man come here to drag you away. The man didn't care. Cut it out. Still holding out on your bro. If it were fake, couldn't you just bury the trending topic, if you ask me? Since you can't get over Xuan, you might as well just get a divorce. Wouldn't it be better to marry Xuan and let true lovers finally be united? No way. Xiayan refused quickly this time. After a moment of silence, he continued, Xuan has her own dreams. I can't hold her back. Su Tang, she's taken good care of both Anin and me all these years. My friend laughed and said, are you treating Su Tang like a nanny? Xiayan did not answer again. Hearing this, my heart still couldn't help but ache. So he didn't divorce me only because I took good care of him. Shin Xuan was the one in his heart, so he would rather they part ways than see her give up on her dreams. What about me? What am I in his eyes? It seems that if you want something, you have to fight for it yourself. If you eat humble pie long enough, people will start to think that's all you deserve. I didn't go inside. Instead, I gave the lunchbox to the cleaning lady downstairs. At home in the evening, Xia Yan and I didn't talk much, but when I finally returned to my room, the man just stood at my door and refused to leave. What's wrong? I asked him. Xiayan pressed his lips together. Today is the 15th. 7. It just hit me that today is our night together. Xiayan may seem aloof and ascetic on the surface, but every time in bed, he's rough and relentless. He never stops until dawn. He keeps saying we shouldn't kiss. But every time things get intense, he's the one grabbing the back of my head and kissing me like crazy. He kept making me call out his name. It won't stop unless you shout. I've already decided to get a divorce, and I don't want any intimate contact with him anymore. Not today. I'm on my period. I turned to go back to my room, but he suddenly grabbed my wrist. I remember you're not usually here at this time. I didn't expect him to be so unreasonable. I yanked my hand free from his grip and said impatiently, is it not okay to do it earlier? With that, she walked away quickly and slammed the door shut, not caring whether the man believed her or not. Xiayan seemed to have stood at the door for a long time before leaving. In the middle of the night, I suddenly felt the bed sink behind me. The next second, a pair of scorching hands pulled me straight into an embrace. Xiayan's familiar voice sounded in my ear. Just because I'm on my period doesn't mean we can't sleep together. I want to struggle, but I just can't break free. No choice. I was too sleepy, so I just let him hold me like that. When I woke up the next day, Xiayan was already gone. Uncle Chen had already taken the child to kindergarten, so I decided to go apply for the visa first. On the way home, I kept wondering whether I should tell Xiayan and Xiajin about the divorce. After all, this isn't just about me. But as soon as I stepped through the door, the first thing I saw was the two of them and Shen Shuan enjoying a warm, harmonious scene in the living room. As soon as Xiajin saw me, he threw himself into Shen Shuan's arms and exclaimed loudly, Dad and Aunt Shen came to pick me up from school today. I was so happy. I wish Aunt Shen could pick me up every day. After saying that, he shot me a smug look. 08. Shen Shuan affectionately patted his little head. If you like it, Auntie will pick you up whenever she has time in the future. Xiayan was sitting on the sofa. When he saw me, he only gave a brief explanation. Wanwan said she wanted to see Anin, so I brought her along. I nodded, not sparing another glance at Xiajian, and walked over to Xiayan. Do you have a moment now? There's something I need to discuss with you alone. Xiayan frowned. Su Tang, is it really meaningful for you to make a scene now? I know you don't like Wanwan, but she's a guest now, and she deserves the respect you should be showing. Let's talk about it tonight. Wanwan wants to eat the sweet and sour ribs you made for me before. Go help Auntie with the cooking first. Shen Shuan immediately spoke up. Brother Yan, what are you saying? Miss Su isn't a maid. How could you ask her to do these things? I don't lift a finger at home. It's fine. She's not like you. She does this all the time. Xiayan said indifferently. Is that so? Then I'll trouble Miss Su. Shen Shuan looked at me with a smile in her eyes, one that held both triumph and mockery. I took a deep breath. Only then did I realize that the lunch I had painstakingly prepared for him had also been shared with Shen Shuan. Suddenly I don't feel like saying anything anymore. What's there to say anyway? I'm such a fool. They don't care at all. I'm not feeling well. You guys can make whatever you want to eat. With that, she turned to go upstairs. Suddenly, Xiayan's secretary arrived, holding several documents for Xiayan to sign, hesitated to speak throughout the entire process. He gave me one last look and stammered, There's one more document. It's It's the divorce agreement that came from the chairman's side this afternoon, the moment the words left my mouth, Xiaoyan and Xia. Jian immediately looked up at me. Even Shen Shuan's eyes held a hint of surprise as his eyes swept over the terms of the agreement. The pen in Xiaoyan's hand snapped with a crisp crack, the veins on the back of the man's hand bulged, his tone carrying a forced calm. You want a divorce? 09, I nodded calmly. I thought that saying divorce to Xiaoyan would surely break my heart, but now, there's an unexpected sense of relief. This is probably what you wanted too. And what about you? Don't want her either. I glanced at the child. Xia Jian lifted his chin and turned his face away, his voice muffled. I'm with Dad. I already knew the outcome, so I wasn't surprised. You heard me. The child is yours. If you don't want to see me, I can promise not to see the kids anymore. And Huang has already deducted the child's support from my share of the property. Xia's mother, whose maiden name was Huang Qing, upon hearing this. Xia Yan's grip on the agreement tightened, flipping the agreement to the last page, as if spotting something, suddenly letting out a soft laugh. His brow also relaxed. Su Tang, you sure talk tough. Too scared to even sign your name. What, afraid that if I actually sign it, you'll have no room to back out? As he spoke, the man took out a new pen and signed his name with a clean, swift stroke. Are you satisfied now, even if you get Mom to plead for you later? I won't take you back as easily as before. I looked at the agreement on the table and said, nothing, no matter the process, as long as the outcome is what I want. Actually, I was planning to sign it earlier, but Auntie Huang said, just to keep that rascal from doing anything disgraceful, don't sign yet, wait until he's signed, then you can sign. Indeed, a mother knows her son best. Seeing the faint smile on my face, Xiaoyan's expression darkened even further. He stood up and lifted Xia Jian into his arms. Since you're not feeling well, I'll take them out to eat and won't be back tonight. Xia Jian was still a bit resistant when being carried away. In the end, they forcibly took her way. I ignored them. After they all left, I slowly walked to the table, picked up the 2 divorce agreements, and signed my name, then called the butler at the old mansion to come and pick it up. Since we've already burned bridges, there's no point in me staying any longer. It's only about a month. Staying at a hotel works too. It was only when I was packing up that I realized, over the years, I've bought a lot for Xiaoyan and Xia Jian, but very little for myself. Come to think of it, I indirectly allowed the father and son to treat me this way. How can someone who doesn't even love themselves expect others to love them? As I walked out with 2 suitcases, I didn't look back, nor did I respond to Uncle Chen's questions. He left Xiaoyan's villa directly. I no longer have to bear any debts of gratitude or constraints. Debt-free, carefree, I will walk my own path from now on. 10. After arriving at the hotel, I quickly freshened up and took a shower. It was already 11 p.m. When I came out, my phone suddenly rang. It was Xiaoyan calling. Where did you go? Xiaoyan's tone carried a hint of helplessness. I've moved out. Given where we stand now, living together doesn't make sense anymore. I've taken everything I need. You can just throw the rest away. The wedding ring is on the nightstand. There was a brief silence on the other end of the line, followed by Xiaoyan's soft chuckle. Su Tang, do you really need to put on an act to this extent? Did you think I'd beg you to come back? Have you forgotten how we got married in the first place? Xiaoyan, I cut Xiaoyan off mid-sentence. Back then, I wasn't the one begging you to marry me. On the contrary, it was the Xia family who begged me to have the child back then. Whatever I owed them, I've long since paid it off. Xiaoyan was momentarily speechless. Fine. Don't you ever come back if you've got the guts. With that, the other party angrily hung up the phone. I just smiled and stopped draining my energy over a man's harsh words or doubting myself. Instead, I had the most peaceful sleep I've had in years. This place gave me a sense of belonging that I never had in the Xia family. No breakfast alarm clock, and no fear of being replaced by someone else's arrival. This is my own space. Su Tang's alone, since everything was settled. I went to Sister Wen's place early to check in. It's basically getting familiar with the business in advance. Xiaoyan hasn't reached out to me during this time either. Instead, I received a few calls from Uncle Chen. After the call connected, the person on the other end stayed silent, just quietly listening to my voice before hanging up. I didn't pay attention and continued with my work. Since Sister Wen had other commitments today, I came to the charity gala in her place. I didn't expect to run into Xiaoyan and Shen Shuan here. 11. Mr. Xia, you're truly fortunate. I heard the divorce proceedings are already underway. Then I wish you and Miss Shen a speedy union. As a perfect match, Xiaoyan frowned slightly, about to say something, but was interrupted by Shen Shuan. thank you for your kind words. If there's any good news, I'll be sure to let you know right away. Xiaoyan glanced at Shinshuan but ultimately said nothing. After exchanging pleasantries, they turned and saw me. Xiaoyan walked over, a look of embarrassment on his face. There are connections here that Wanwan needs, so I brought her along. You know, I've never been a fan of these kinds of occasions. Yes, no matter how much he disliked it, for Shinshuan's sake, he was willing to make concessions. I ignored what Xiaoyan said and prepared to leave, but as I passed him, he grabbed my wrist. Stop messing around, come back, and then misses you too. I tried to pull my hand away from his, but I couldn't break free. Xiaoyan, I'm serious about the divorce. The man just stared at me, as if searching for a flicker of hesitation or sadness in my eyes. Finally, he let out a sigh, as if conceding defeat. What will it take for you to come back? Watching Xiaoyan's relentless determination to achieve his goal at all costs, I knew that if I didn't say something, he would just keep going on and on. I'll go back only if you cut off all contact with Shinshuan and never reach out to her for the rest of your life. Impossible. Xiaoyan let go of my hand and refused without a second thought. Sure enough, the moment Shinshuan's interests were touched, Xiaoyan will abandon me first. I shrugged. Forget it, Xiaoyan, you made your choice, so don't blame me for not giving you a chance. The man's eyes were inscrutable, as if weighing the truth of my words. At that moment, the organizer of the charity gala came over. After exchanging pleasantries with us, he turned to look at me. Director Wen will be heading abroad soon, won't he? She told me you're her most trusted right hand. We'll be working with her on some overseas projects too, so I look forward to your guidance. Xiaoyan's hand, holding the wine glass, froze. Are you going abroad? Something in the man's usually calm eyes seemed to be rapidly collapsing. 12. I lied instinctively. President Xia, you flatter me. I'm hardly qualified to go with President Wen. I'm just doing some part-time work under him. Xiaoyan's gaze gradually softened. After the banquet, he had intended to see me home, but Shinshuan still wanted to accompany a few executives to a dinner, so Xiaoyan had no choice but to tag along. As he left, he said, our wedding anniversary is just over 10 days away. Make sure you keep that day free. If Xiaoyan hadn't mentioned it, I would have almost forgotten our wedding anniversary. Every year at this time, I used to carefully prepare a surprise, waiting for Xiaoyan to come back. The sense of ritual I missed as a child, I always hoped to make up for as an adult. But Xiaoyan is either working overtime or entertaining clients every single time. Eventually, I stopped holding out hope for these things. Of course, I wouldn't take what he says now seriously. While waiting for the bus, Sister Wen called, let me know when the date for going abroad is set. My voice faltered when I heard the date. It happened to fall on the wedding anniversary of Xiaoyan and me. Any questions? Sister Wen asked me. I smiled and said, no problem. 13. I thought Xiaoyan was just speaking casually, but just a few days later, I received a reservation confirmation text from the restaurant. Xiaoyan called, his tone much softer than before. Did you get my text? It's about that restaurant you've been wanting to go to, and about that movie you mentioned you wanted to see. We can also catch it then. It's already been taken out of theaters. The hopeful tone on the other end was cut short by my indifference. As for that restaurant, I've already been there and eaten. Xiaoyan fell silent on the other end. So this is what it feels like to quickly dampen someone's enthusiasm when they're eagerly sharing. It didn't feel good at all. I will never become the person I despise, but Xiaoyan was clearly not one to give up so easily. It's okay, we can go eat there again. I'll have a surprise for you when the time comes. I hung up the phone, indifferent to his surprise. I'm not going anyway. I've got the visa, but I still have a lot of work to do and no time to deal with him. I just never expected to see Xiaoyan standing at the hotel entrance as I was grabbing my luggage, ready to head to the airport. The man, dressed in a brand new bespoke suit, his eyes lighting up with surprise as he saw me carrying my luggage. Are you planning to go home today? Xiaoyan reached out to take the suitcase, but I dodged him. Just as I was thinking about how to get rid of him, Xiaoyan's phone suddenly rang. He saw the caller ID, hesitated for a moment, but still answered. His expression suddenly changed. Hide in the room first. Don't open the door for anyone. I'll be right there. After hanging up the phone, Xiaoyan looked at me with a hint of guilt. There's a thief picking the lock at Wanwan's door. She needs me right now. With that, Xiaoyan had already gotten into the car. Since you're heading home anyway, we can go to the restaurant in a couple of days. With that, the man hurried off before I could even respond. Watching the direction Xiaoyan's car had disappeared, I found it utterly amusing. Only someone as love-struck as Xiaoyan would believe such a lie about picking a lock in broad daylight, but I still have to thank Shin Shiwan, otherwise I wouldn't know what to do right now. At the airport, I came across a post on Shiwan's moments. It's a surveillance video of her living room. Xiaoyan rushed in anxiously, and the two embraced each other intimately, as if surviving a catastrophe. Caption: no matter what happens, when I'm in danger, you're always the first to show up. Many people below have liked it. Someone also commented, finally together. Congratulations. I calmly watched all this, then blocked both her and Xiaoyan. Boarded the plane to Paris. 14. The new job is not easy. Sister Wen is the new boss, but many of her subordinates are not convinced, so it's up to us veterans to put in more effort, help her achieve results, and build her authority. Exhausted, busy, yet fulfilled, it felt like I had rediscovered the old Su Tang, full of drive and vitality. Would stay up till dawn arguing with a colleague over a design detail. They will also boldly challenge others' opinions to get their own ideas accepted every day. My concerns are no longer about daily necessities. My husband, or my son, it's about how to make your design more visible to others. No one would say that I don't meet the standards of Mrs. Xia. No one will look at me through a biased lens just because of a misunderstanding. The looks from those around me were either admiration or fear. This feeling of focusing on yourself and experiencing yourself getting better step by step, that's wonderful. Today, I discussed the cover design for the new season with Leo, the design director. He's half Chinese, half British, incredibly handsome, and has a razor-sharp tongue when he curses. After an entire afternoon of discussion, one of my suggestions finally made it click for him. As we walked out of the company, Leo still looked grateful and reached out to hug me. Thank goodness, Tang Tang, if it weren't for you, I wouldn't have gotten any sleep tonight. A shadow suddenly fell over me before Leo's hand could even touch me. The next second, Leo was knocked to the ground with a single punch. It's Xiaoyan. Who are you, and what gives you the right to hit me? It took Leo a moment to snap out of his daze before he fumed in exasperation. Xiaoyan's face darkened completely as he pulled me into his arms. You don't need to know who I am. All you need to know is that she's the mother of my child. I finally snapped out of it and quickly pushed him away. We're already divorced, and Huang had someone bring me the divorce certificate last month. Xiaoyan, as if possessed by obsession, pulled me back into his arms and held me even tighter. As long as I haven't acknowledged it, you will always be my wife. 15. For 3 months, I never imagined that Xiaoyan would come all the way to Paris just to find me. After all, I've always been an expendable presence in his eyes, without me standing in the way. Shouldn't he be happily together with Shinshuan? Xiaoyan and I sat across from each other in the cafe. The man took a sip of the coffee in front of him, then suddenly pushed it toward me. This one's good, it's a flavor you'd like. I glanced at the coffee and pushed it back. I'm sorry, but I'm not used to using other people's cups, she said coolly. Xiaoyan was taken aback, then looked a bit embarrassed. I know you're mad at me for leaving you on our wedding anniversary. Actually, I was planning to make up for it by proposing to you that day. Didn't you say it wasn't you who begged to marry into my family? Well, this time, let me be the one begging you. Tang Tang, I regret it. I regret not cherishing you when you were still here. It's only now that I realize how important you are to me. I promise you, when we get back, I'll throw you a proposal that the whole world will know about, and it has been missing you so much lately. Every day, she asks me when mommy is coming home. Tang Tang, please come back home with me. As if something occurred to him, Xiaoyan added, that incident the other day was all Shinshuan's lie. There was no thief at all. I've already kicked her out of city A, and she'll never show up in our lives again. Even now, Xiaoyan still thinks I'm mad at Shinshuan. Little did they know, it was never her that I cared about. If Xiaoyan had left no opening, how could Shinshuan have found a way in? Xiaoyan, it's too late. That was my condition 3 months ago, not my condition now. So what do you want now? I'll do anything for you. Xiaoyan pressed further. I want you to disappear right now and never show your face in front of me again. Xiaoyan stared at me in disbelief, his eyes instantly reddening. After a long silence, he finally spoke. You still blame me, but I won't give up. I will make you accept me again. 16. I never knew Xiaoyan could be so persistent and relentless. The next day, a chauffeur service began every morning downstairs at my apartment, and every evening downstairs at my office. I refused to get in, so he just drove along behind me. I used to bring him lunch, but now he brings me all 3 meals every day, but I never actually ate it. Xiaoyan, undeterred, put down the items and left, ignoring my wishes and not giving me a chance to refuse. In the end, I had no choice but to give everything to my colleague. However, Xiayan's actions did not last long. A week later, he was forced to leave due to company matters. Just as I was about to breathe a sigh of relief, Sister Wen called me into her office. Let me go back to my country and hold a design exhibition. The partner is Xia Group 17. When Jia has also noticed Xiayan's actions. These past few days, Xia's offering a really high price this time, and they specifically asked for you to handle it. I was taken aback, knowing that things couldn't be changed. I calmly accepted it. Work is work, no matter where you are. Business is business, and personal is personal. I don't have a habit of bringing my personal life into work. As I was leaving the office, Sister Wen suddenly grabbed my arm, looking all pitiful. Bestie, you're coming back, right? I found it quite amusing, of course. I'm counting on you to help me get that promotion and raise. When Jia is finally relieved, on the day we returned home, Xiayan came to the airport with the other reception staff to pick us up. However, we were very polite throughout the entire process. The discussions were all about matters related to the cooperation. Just as he was leaving, Xiayan suddenly spoke, "How about dinner tonight? And is so happy to know you're back." I looked utterly helpless. Xiayan, is it really fun for you to always use the child as a bargaining chip? Xiayan was taken aback, perhaps finding these words familiar, as he had often said them to me before. I suddenly understand how he must have felt back then, but the man just gave a satisfied smile. Tang Tang, are you getting back at me now? Once you've had your revenge, will you take me back? I rolled my eyes, thinking this guy was out of his mind, shut the door and ignored him. When I brought this up to Sister Wen, she just started cursing me out. Is this guy out of his mind, or does he have a masochistic streak? A leopard can't change its spots, and he can't stop being a jerk. He's gone, and now he's trying to play nice. Su Tang, let me tell you, he's just regretful, not a changed man. If you go soft on him, I'll be furious with you. I chuckled and raised my hand to swear I wouldn't look back, and only then did Sister Wen feel reassured enough to hang up. Even after everything Xiayan did, I still didn't think he cared that much about me. It's just my pride acting up. The person who used to be there every time I turned around is gone. No one would find it easy to get used to. As for Xia Jian, he was probably just another front put up by Xiayan. After all, he hated me so much before. If I leave, he can get a new mom. He'll be overjoyed. How could you possibly miss me? I never even thought about contacting Xia Jian, but he came on his own 18 that day. As I was brainstorming the layout of the design exhibition with my team at the hotel, I suddenly received a call from the front desk. Someone at the lobby said there's a child looking for me, named Xia Jian. When I came down in the elevator, what I saw was Xia Jian sitting alone on the lobby sofa, with his little backpack on, clearly escaped from kindergarten. The child's eyes lit up the moment they saw me, but he didn't dare to run over, just staring at me with longing eyes. How did you know I was here? Seeing my cold demeanor, Xia Jian's gaze darkened, whispering, I overheard Dad talking to Grandpa Chen earlier. The child kept his head down, as if afraid I would scold him. I looked at him and sighed. Come on, I'll walk you home. As I walked ahead, I suddenly felt my hand being held by a tiny hand. Looking down, it was Xia Jian. The child forced a placating smile at me. I hesitated for a moment, but in the end, I didn't pull away. Xia Jian happily held my hand even tighter. After sending the child to Uncle Chen, I was about to leave. Xia Jian suddenly tugged at the hem of my clothes. Mom, can you take me to kindergarten tomorrow? The word mom feels unfamiliar, like I haven't heard it in ages. In the past, I would have been so moved I'd be in tears by now, but this time, I just calmly pulled out my clothes and flatly refused. No, I'm busy, I have plans tomorrow. Xia Jian lowered his eyes in disappointment. I turned and walked away without looking back. Right now, I have more important things to focus on. My child's needs will no longer come before my own. 19. In the days that followed, I continued to work as usual. Even though I knew this project was specifically arranged by Xiayan to get me to return home, I still strived to perfect every detail. Xiayan also showed up frequently, sometimes alone, sometimes with Xia Jian, under the guise of conducting an inspection as the client. They often treat everyone to afternoon tea and cake every time it's handed to me. It's always my favorite flavor. I didn't pay any attention to it either, just focusing on my own work. I thought Xiayan would keep up this childish behavior until the project was over, until one day, my colleague and I stayed up until midnight setting up the venue. Suddenly, a colleague leaned in and whispered, Xiayan has been standing in the corner watching you for quite a while. The expression is quite strange. I wiped the sweat from my forehead and walked over. Mr. Xia, do you think there's a problem? Xiaoyan froze for a moment, as if just realizing something, and straightened up. Oh no, you've arranged it perfectly. I gave him a strange look and went back to work, but after that, Xiaoyan rarely came around. Even if there is a need for coordination, other senior executives will be sent instead. This brings me a lot of comfort. On the day we were about to leave, Xiaoyan came to see us off. When everyone went shopping, he suddenly said to me, "Tang Tang, are you happy right now?" The man's sudden remark left me puzzled, but still, I nodded firmly. "Yes, I'm happy now." Xiaoyan smiled, as if letting go of something, and began to speak. "That day, I saw you so tired, moving things up and down with your colleagues, not even having a moment to drink water, yet your eyes were sparkling, and a bright smile was spreading across your lips. That's an expression you've never shown when you're with me. I hope you are happy. If being with me brings you pain, then I'm willing to let you go." Xiaoyan said it as if he had moved himself. His eyes were slightly reddened, but I flatly rejected his melodrama. "Let me make it clear. It wasn't you letting go. I was the one who actively walked away from this sea of misery with you." Xiaoyan's smile grew even more bitter. "Fine, congratulations on escaping from this sea of misery that is me. Come back and visit and in more often when you have time. He's always had you in his heart. He's just been led astray by others." I nodded, not intending to argue with a child over such a trivial matter, but to give my whole heart as I once did. I'm afraid that's no longer possible. Just before boarding, I saw a message in the colleague group chat. "Sister Wen, Tang Tang, please come back soon. I can't hold on much longer." Colleague A, "Sister Tang, people from other departments are bullying us. You need to come back and stand up for us." Colleague B, "Sister Tang, that Leo is cursing again. He says from now on he'll only deal with you, no one else but you." My smile widened as I replied, "On my way." Boarded the plane to Paris. So this is what it feels like to realize my own worth. I am no longer someone's wife, nor someone's mother. I am just myself. In the future, I believe my worth will far exceed what it is now. 20 Xiaoyan side story. I used to think that Su Tang wouldn't be able to live well without me, so even if she divorces me and runs off to Paris, I never thought she would actually leave. It wasn't until that day that I saw her personally handling every detail to ensure the venue was perfectly set up. Even when doing the heaviest work, he never uttered a single complaint. His eyes were filled with focus and ambition for the task at hand. I've just realized that I never truly understood her. The girl who used to be so meek and submissive in front of me seems to have long disappeared. I seem to have become the villain who wants to clip her wings and keep her from soaring. Perhaps Su Tang never needed us. It's an and I who have always needed her. It's just that I seem to have lost the girl whose eyes were once full of me. The next time I heard from Su Tang was through her wedding invitation. The other person is an architect. He treats her very well and fully respects her opinions. He was even willing to move to another city to support her career. Perhaps this is what truly suits Su Tang. It is not about unrestrained taking, but about heartfelt companionship and support. That day, I drank so much that I ended up with a bleeding stomach. When I woke up, I was already in the hospital. Only the secretary is by my side. Mom knew I was fine, so she took Nin back to take care of her. Hasn't even come to the hospital once. I thought I had already let go long ago, but that day, I was eating the takeout the secretary had ordered. I suddenly remembered the meal Su Tang cooked for me a long time ago. I cried in the hospital room for a long, long time.